So in any investing, please note that there are risks, okay? So the way to mitigate risk is definitely knowledge. The more we know, the more we would know what to do and how to invest in it and how to do portfolio management. So how can investors mitigate these risks and make informed decisions? Because just now you mentioned this thing about I do stocks investing, and why I do stocks investing, just to put in a context, is because to me stocks are actually businesses. And I subscribe to the method by Warren Buffett, which is to understand the value of a business through their balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, knowing the mode of the business and the business models, etc. So I can do some form of a projection. Of course, there are some assumptions in it, but with that projection, I kind of know and be able to calculate the value. And I want to buy it at a price that's lower the valuation. So in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrency, we talk about, no, we should not be speculating. That's the reason why the volatility goes up and down, because a lot of people are speculating, which, even today in properties and stocks, a lot of people do speculate as well, right? But if we want to talk about investing, how do we go about, let's say, assessing the value of the cryptocurrency?
I think it's a very good question. I think firstly, when we talk about investing, firstly we be clear about your objective, right? And what asset class to use. So even in the area of digital assets, I think from different people's perspective or even institutions, there are three ways to see it. Number one, from an insurance perspective, like protection. The second one is about investing. And the third one is actually speculating. So when we talk about insurance, more of the per se is more of like you don't want to have exposed to a certain asset class, right? Let's say a lot of people just hold currency, fiat currency, and then or they have majority of the assets in property, right? Especially Singaporeans, we have $1 million property, but
now it's so difficult with all the ABSD.
So a lot of Singaporeans are like, asset rich, but they are very cash poor in a way, right? So that is talking about that. So when we talk about from a protection point of view, the whole narrative is that you want to have at least about 5 to 10% of your overall portfolio it's a good idea to consider having that into digital assets as well, because then you are sort of diversified away from, in event of a systemic crash, like back in 2008 when they had the subprime crises and whatnot, if banks and governments of the world collapse and stuff in terms of banking economy, what will happen is that then your currency, whether your assets, whether it's gold or whether it's Bitcoin, they will not devalue, or in fact they will appreciate in value during a systemic crash as well. So that's more from a protection point of view, like small amount in your overall portfolio, 5% or what overall portfolio in this kind of safe haven assets. When you come from the investment perspective, which I think is very exciting today to talk about in 2004, is that actually
2024,
by that 2024, right? It's about investing in the long term. So that's from that. And why I say 2024 this year, it's a very good year for Bitcoin especially, is because institutional funds like ETFs, like Bitcoin ETF is being listed. They're going to get approved, they're going to get new funds coming in, and these are the big boys where a lot of funds. So that the time when a gold, physical gold was actually added into the stock market as a gold ETF, over the period of time you start to see that the price of gold actually appreciated, because there's new flows of funds coming in, and if you know simple economics, right? If supply is limited, demand increases, what will happen to the price? The price will go up. So that's more from a long-term investing perspective that you're saying that, okay, now with number one, new funds are coming in from institutions because of the ETF. Number two is that, with Bitcoin, there's this thing called halving, where basically the new supply of minting that's being added every time for miners to secure the blockchain will get halved. So the next halving that's going to happen is in April 2024, right? Which is just like 3 to 4 months away. So with that in mind, these are two key catalysts of why I think that Bitcoin is going to appreciate in value over a long term, right? But we're talking about historically, because with every halving, every 4 years with the halving, within a period of 1.5 years, the price of Bitcoin will actually go to the next all-time high. And the last all-time high was about $68,000. Now we're about $40,000 or so for Bitcoin. But for it to go past the $68,000 and even more to $100,000 within a 1 to 1.5 years time is very possible. I mean, I'm just quoting like Standard Charter. So the analyst for Standard Charter actually, make a projection to say that Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin could possibly be at $100,000 by the end of 2024. So if you think about it from a financial perspective, if currently Bitcoin now is about 40 plus K, and for it to go up to 100K, that's like 250%
More than
returns.
double.
More than double, right?
Yeah, more than double.
Yeah, of course, this is
Yes.
not financial advice or whatnot,
Yeah.
but this is what we're saying that at the end of the day, why we invest, right? Because it's about risk reward.
Yeah.
So you say that if we are taking this risk and we know that this is the risk that we can take, that
Yeah.
we can afford, but the reward is
Yes.
that within the period of time of 1 to 1.5
Yes.
years, then it makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you have already have taken care of your protection, you've taken care of your other asset classes, and then what you want to also do is to have exposure to emerging technology, access to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, good ones that have the potential to appreciate over the next the next 1, 2, 3 years or more. So I mean, we just look at historical numbers, right?
Yeah.
The past 1 year, if you have bought some Bitcoin since like January or doing dollar cost averaging, right? Since January 2023, it has gone up way more than 100% really.
Yeah.
And year on year, typically over a period of time, let's say the CAGR, right? Year on year for Bitcoin, it has gone up typically about 33% per year. So if you think about it from more from a long-term asset class, it actually makes sense
Yeah.
if you've handled your risk reward from an
Yes.
investment perspective.
Yeah. So to take note, risks versus rewards, and we need to do our homework. We need to make sure that we do a portfolio management. Okay, please do not overexpose into one to say that, oh, I think this is gonna go up, and because it's gonna go up like double, I'll just put all my money in. No, please do not do that. Okay, yeah, knowledge is really important, and that's why Zech has this Block Z Lab Academy for you to find out more. You can just click on the link, okay, that's over there. If you want to find out more how you can get more information, get yourself educated. That's the most important thing, okay? So what are then the principles of responsible investing when we want to look into digital assets? Because you've been talking a lot about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Now, digital assets also have a broad spectrum.
That's right.
Okay, so how do we actually invest in them? Yeah, and what to choose? There are so many.
Yeah, so we spoke about digital assets, right? We spoke about Bitcoin, but beyond Bitcoin, there is also other alternate coins, right? So this whole other alternate coins includes like, alternate means is just alternative coins other than the main coin that's Bitcoin. So the second biggest main alternative coin is actually Ethereum. So Ethereum is another cryptocurrency, and then of course you may have many other cryptocurrencies like Cardano, Ripple, and whatnot. But more importantly, when we talk about, and of course all your meme coins, right? Like this year, this last few months has been crazy with regards to the meme coins, and that has appreciated. Even Solana has appreciated quite a lot. So when we talk about principles investing, I think very important, like I mentioned, that you need to be very clear about your objective. Firstly, you are doing this whether it's for protection, for investment, or actually for speculation.
So this is the same for all cryptocurrency as well, and plus digital assets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just now you mentioned about the blockchain 60,000. So it's like nobody can buy a Bitcoin one. So how do I then diversify my portfolio like 5 to 10%? Let's say if I got my 5 to 10% is like $5,000 or $1,000. Yeah, how do I do that?
So the good thing about digital currencies, because they are divisible, you don't have to actually buy one whole Bitcoin to get started. So you could own like a fraction of it, like 0.0001. As little as $10, you can already buy into like a Bitcoin using the exchange. So, yeah.
I think that, I'm not sure, it's new information to you. You don't need to have 60,000. I know some of you may have heard, 60,000? I just want to buy one coin. It's 60,000. How do I diversify my portfolio? So you can actually put in like $10, $100. Yeah, to actually see how it works. Okay, but of course you need to have an account. So my next question will be, which is better, investing in Bitcoin, individual coins, or ETF?
So I would say when we come from this investing in digital asset space, which coin, I think it goes back to portfolio sizing again. So let's say if I have a typical, let's say I have a portfolio, right? Maybe about $100,000 or whatnot, or $10,000. So if let's say from $100,000 perspective, so I just share with you my opinion of how I would portfolio size, right? So I would stick my whole idea is that I find that strong coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum is going to run out, has strong value, strong utility, because I already have the fundamentals, I know the projects and stuff. So I would provision at least 60% of my digital assets portfolio into good coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So for example, 40% in Bitcoin, 20% in Ethereum. Then the other 40% that I have for the other 100% will include other spot coins that have a long-term perspective. So that I'm clear that, when it comes to long-term investing, about investment, it's mainly to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we'll talk about a bit more speculative. Then I have a smaller portion of my overall portfolio that goes into that. That could be smaller alternate coins, or even like the riskier kind of digital assets, like even NFTs and whatnot. But essentially, I think it's important to have that clear diversification objective, and then put your money, put your digital assets in a different kind of currencies.
Yeah. So basically, it's quite similar to any of our even stocks investing. Like for example, when we want to pick those stocks, one of the key ways for us to do is we diversify. Like we have some ETFs that's more stable, we have some blue chip stocks that's also quite stable as well, and maybe if you want to have the high growth stocks, we just put a few percentage, like 10-20% into those high growth areas. And you know what? These high growth stocks may have high risks as well. So this is where you really need to have that knowledge in order to know what to do and how to plan it out for 2024, right? So the next question I would have is this. You are talking about 2024 and you mentioned because the big boys are coming in. Yeah. So I just want to ask, I think a lot of people will be asking, there's opportunity right now, is it?
Yes, actually, I would say there's opportunity right now, because for the first time ever, I think especially with regards to retail investors, they have opportunity to actually sort of like front run the big boys, because it takes time for institutions to get the ETF approved. Secondly, for funds to come in as well. So this is a time, I think it's an opportunity to actually get started on diversifying to digital assets like good ones like Bitcoin with the ETF coming in. That is the potential for having that returns in the long term. That is going to be good because the supply is limited, and then there's going to be new funds coming in.
Yeah. So even when we talk about opportunities, I always got to highlight this, right? This is definitely not a recommendation. Okay, please do your own due diligence. And the best way to do your due diligence is definitely to get yourself educated. I keep highlighting on that, right? And emphasize on this. So if I want to know more about these programs, do you run programs to teach people, like, even if I want to start, where do I start to buy? Some of you might be thinking Bitcoin or crypto. Do I need to open up an account? How do I open up an account? What do I have to do? Do I go to the banks? So do you teach all this to the layman?
Yes, I do actually, because I do monthly workshops and even masterclasses virtually online, and even also physical workshops in our office in Singapore as well.
Yes.
And this is something that I enjoy doing, because people getting started, learning, helping them to guide them through the step by step, and making sure that they have the right foundation. They actually get started right, have their assets safely secured. I think that's really important. So if you're interested, we will share the link and stuff. You can just sign up for the next free masterclass, and you'll be able to actually get started. The whole idea is just you want to help people to achieve, diversify some funds and be able to achieve some passive income and they help them towards their financial freedom goals moving forward as well.
So you mentioned about financial freedom as well as getting passive income.
That's right.
From this cryptocurrency. I know some of you, after you have done your budgeting and after you have gone through your New Year resolution, you are looking at having some form of a passive income. And I understand Zech does collect passive income in cryptocurrency. Maybe you want to explain to us why in the first place you teach this like as a full-time job when you were previously working in corporate.
Yeah, so I was actually, I've invested in digital asset space for about the last 5 years or so, personal investment and whatnot. Over the last couple of years, I've been in the corporate job, teaching about also the area of digital assets and trading, because it's something that I really believe in terms of technology, leveraging emerging technology and stuff. But what really decided for me that made me want to come out and share on a personal basis, and it's actually because in January I was actually retrenched. Yeah, so and then what I realized is that, very importantly is we want to have that security, right? We talk about, even about job security, that have the confidence and security that, you know, we're not dependent on the company.
Yes.
We have the freedom to say that even though we are retrenched, we are able to choose the job that we want, that we truly love, that we are passionate about, and more importantly, having control, that freedom and control. So the good news is that even though I was retrenched since January 2023, I was able to sustain my family expenses. I was able to take care of my 3 kids.
Oh, 3 kids.
Three
Okay.
kids, you know, we were able to pay for the bills, take care of their private education in the kindergarten and whatnot, because of my investment in digital assets. And that's something that I truly believe that, you know, having a right diversification and
Yes.
investing
Yes.
does have the power to actually allow us to generate a passive income, to allow us to also appreciate our funds in a responsible manner, right? If we have the
Yes.
right foundation and knowledge.
All right. I also believe in that. As you can see, Zach is also a father of 3, and that's why he is very careful when it comes to investing, to make sure that all the funds are being well diversified. He has the right knowledge to do so. So if you want to find out more, please don't just go in, okay, and put all your money in. Don't do that. Have the right education. Click on the link so that you know what to do next. Thank you, Zach, for all this information to allow us to know more about digital assets and blockchain. Now remember, if you find this content helpful, please remember to click the like and subscribe button on my channel. And it's all about taking care of your body, mind, heart, wallet for a happier and healthier you.